Hey there, everybody. Welcome to this special episode of Hack That Funnel Radio. So I've been kind of hoping that I could get this person on the interview for a while. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory on who you're about to hear from and what they have to share. I just joined this elite team at ClickFunnels helping people gain their certification in ClickFunnels as a CF certified partner. That program is gone, but having been there, I got to rub shoulders with the other big elites, the people who've been around ClickFunnels inside of their system for a long time. And I met this power couple. Their names are Andrew and Laurelyn Newman. When you meet somebody who is extremely good at what they do but is extremely humble, it changes your perspective on what a guru is, on what it means to be successful. And it makes you almost wish you could be more like them than the people who are on the top of the mountain screaming, because they're the secret people who are making all this work. This is true for Andrew and Laurelyn. Now, I don't work at ClickFunnels today. I left there a long time ago, but I was able to rub shoulders really well with Andrew, and we've kept in touch all the way through. His wife has recently started their own agency for building funnels for clients and helping them with their campaigns. And I spoke with Andrew at Funnel Hacking Live, which is so cool. Now, I love going to Funnel Hacking Live just because I get to see all my old coworkers in a lot of ways and see where they're going and what they've been doing. And it's so much fun. And on top of being able to see all the funnel hackers that come out. And as I was walking through Funnel Hacking Live, I saw Andrew, and he was busy at the time. Like, we have to catch up. He's like, you got it, man. And you'll notice the way he talks, he's 100% relaxed. He loves what he does. And he lives in that comfort. And so you're going to be able to see that in a moment. He's just a genius to listen in really tight because he drops some awesome value bombs. But we caught up a little bit while later at Funnel Hacking Live, like that evening. And I'm sitting there at a table and talking to a bunch of people. And he came up and we started talking. He's like, so did you know that I've made over $40,000 in the last couple months off of a Fiverr gig? Off of a Fiverr gig? I was like, dude, tell me what's going on. And so he just talked. And first he wanted to know what I do. And I'm like, I build funnels for clients. He goes, well, I've been doing it too. He's like, are you still charging cheap? And I'm like, yeah, maybe. He's like, you need to stop doing that. What you need to do is this. And he told me how he was making money really just on the side. They weren't pushing it. They weren't marketing it, but they've made at this point over $112,000. This is a side gig, like literally true side gig. And they aren't pushing a lot of money into it or pushing a lot of time into it. This is something that is totally on the side for them. And it's not because they used to work at ClickFunnels. It's because they set it up right and they focus on taking care of the customer. But I can't tell you everything. That is Andrew's job. And so Andrew's going to be talking about he and Laurelyn have built this business for their family as a side gig, just dabbling, and how you can do the exact same thing in your business. From step 1 to step 10, you can follow each piece and do what they're doing. That is the gold nugget that's being dropped today. Thank you, Andrew, in advance for being on. Appreciate it. But if you're on YouTube, make sure that you're liking this video. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, so that way you get notified every time we come out with an awesome interview or just a podcast episode. I have spent the last 5 years building hundreds of marketing funnels and systems for over 100 clients, and I can tell you, most of you are skipping the most important part of the funnel build. There is a secret step-by-step blueprint that makes every sales funnel profitable. What is it? That is the question, and this podcast is the answer. My name is Ben Moote, and this is Hack That Funnel Radio. So, Andrew, thanks for being on, dude. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for inviting.
Yeah. So the first time we met, I had just been hired on in ClickFunnels. It was 4 years ago. So
2015 or 2016, right around there.
2016, yeah. I got hired on in like January. And then I left in like April, and was in for a little bit. And you were there, and you'd been an OG on support. Like you'd always been there.
One of the original 5 when I started with the company.
And you're still there today. Like if anybody's in the ClickFunnels group, Andrew's doing lives. What is it? Almost every day now.
Every day, actually. I have one in an hour.
Right now.
At 3:00, which is an hour and 5 minutes.
All right then. Okay, cool. So he's hopping on that right afterwards. So tight.
Right after, actually, yes.
If you want to learn from Andrew, go hop on that. But literally, you and your wife both worked at ClickFunnels when I was there. And then she stopped working there in like December.
July.
In July, that's right.
2018.
Mm-hmm. And then you decided, man, what should we do? So tell me the story about how you guys decided to do an agency.
Well, I mean,
I love
we
it.
work for ClickFunnels, and when you and I met, obviously, we were teaching people how to basically run agencies, right? Even though theoretically at that point we had not technically run agencies, my wife and I have got about 12 years of experience in this space. We were teaching people how to set up websites over the telephone in like 2002. So there's a lot of history behind that. But when we came into ClickFunnels, we were teaching yourself, Nora, Adam, and me and Jimmy. We were all teaching people how to use ClickFunnels to build, extra income streams, building funnels for other people. And, when you take a look at like a regular job, it's depressing, right? So there's no reason to get one of those for, at least for my wife in that particular case. So we just figured, why don't we just take all the tools, the resources, knowledge that we have now and just try it. And I have a Fiverr gig, which is hilarious. I actually created that so that I could refund Russell. Whole other story if we got time for later. But that Fiverr gig, since the day we opened it, had been generating inquiries for us for fixing ClickFunnels pages live is what the gig is all about. And we just refer them out to people at ClickFunnels certified partners, people who have invested in the program and are looking for results themselves. So we just give those away all the way up until July of this last year. And so we went ahead and started kind of dabbling a little bit. It wasn't even really a part-time thing. It was just, people ask, we did, right? Hop on a Zoom call really quick, just like kind of like we're doing now, and share what we can do to help them. And I guess people think that we have a lot of knowledge in this space. I personally think that I'm a rookie compared to some of the people that I've associated with over the last 5 years. But they like what they hear. And generally speaking, what we do is 80% close ratio is what we have. Coming from Fiverr to a Zoom call to somebody giving us a substantial chunk of change. Our services start at $7,500. And we have an 80% close ratio of people who are reaching out to us from, gigs that cost $15, $20 on Fiverr.
So you have a $15, $25 gig on Fiverr. People say, yes, I want to do that. You say, let's hop on a Zoom call. You just reach out like, yeah, I could do that for you, but
it's easier to get a good beat on your business, see if we'd be good at working together over a really quick Zoom call if you'd be interested. Does that sound fair to you? It's basically the pitch. Nobody says no. So we shoot over a link to our calendar and get on a call with them. Usually, it doesn't take very long to chat with them, to give them. People like to chat about their business and their challenges and anything that we can do to help overcome that, which is a vast cornucopia of knowledge that we possess. But we've kind of narrowed it down to a very, very small portion of their funnel, which is the back end, the most important part of the funnel. A lot of people focus on the front end of the funnel, which is cool. Get a couple leads from Facebook for $20-$30 a day and send them up your value ladder. We would rather focus on the actual value ladder itself to make sure that's converting, because that's where all the bread and butter is, at least according to what we understand.
And here's the funny part. Do you have a funnel right now?
Kind of. Okay, so you can give us your name, your email address. Okay. You can, buy a $7 product if you choose to. And we have a couple of emails that will go out to get you to try and schedule some time with us. But we don't really focus on it. It's not like a primary thing that we do. It's just kind of stumbling around, just kind of doing the thing that we tell everybody else to do. And the market is so open and ripe right now, which is beautiful, that you can just dabble and you can earn an extra $122,000 on the side. It depends on when you look at it. We started our agency officially in December of 2018, but we kind of started pushing a little bit more energy into it on what we're going to offer, crafting our offer, finding the ideal customer avatar, all those wonderful things that you have to do to find out where you're going to kind of carve out your little space, or your blue ocean, if you will. If you read Expert Secrets at all, you look for your little blue ocean space there, and you kind of make money as you go. And it really isn't complicated to do. People are very receptive to this. The market is so open, so wide, and there's so many niches that haven't been filled yet that there's a lot of generalists out there. And if you kind of just focus your energy into one space, you can dominate that, and you can charge more for less.
So I was speaking to Blake Newbar, 2 Comic Club winner. He's done a pretty good job with it. Working with some big names. Absolutely nice guy. Mm-hmm. And he was like, if you become an expert at something, it'll be impossible for people not to notice. And you do this little thing. Do people just turn to you and say, "Can you help me?" when you're on this call because they realize that you've delved in and tried to become an expert?
I don't, okay, yeah, I guess that's what every time somebody becomes what you would call quote unquote a client. I don't tell them anything about price. I don't trial close them. I'll say, so you're ready to go to the next. I don't do any of that stuff because um, I don't like it when it's done to me. So if I want to do business with a person, I will be doing that. Like I will ask them the next step, and that's usually what happens to us. We just kind of chat with them about their business. They share their challenges with us. We share our knowledge about how to overcome those challenges. Obviously, in most cases, they would not have those challenges had they known how to fix them, and they have a business to run, so they don't really have time to do those things. So we just kind of it just kind of flows right into it. I do have a contract that they digitally sign. It's really simple. And they like the onboarding process is really what it solidifies them. I guess that's more of the sales funnel, I guess, but it requires us to be in there turning the gears manually, right? So
Right.
then almost every single person that we talk to says, well, how much does it cost to work with you? Because I really want to work with you. And it just comes from solving their problems, telling them how to solve their problems, just giving it to them. Like I'll do it for, technically I would do it for free because I mean, I actually do it a lot for free for a lot of people who are ClickFunnels users, and they just reach out to me to kind of help them get through some of the stuff that they're working with, and I just do that because they're ClickFunnels users, and that's where I work. Right? So we do that, but it's actually really interesting to have such a specialized knowledge that I look at it as like it's common knowledge, and it's not. People think it's magic, and I don't think it's magic.
Just to reiterate, you've made $122,000 since December to October.
Okay, so technically you could say it was that time frame for the company because the company didn't previously exist before December. But we actually started the process of refining what we're going to do, what we're going to offer, what we can bring to the marketplace in July. So technically, what is that? 14 months.
14 months. Okay.
Averaging $10,000 a month, give or take, roughly a little bit over that. For the last 14 months. No advertising. We don't advertise. We don't do any of that stuff. We simply have 3 gigs on Fiverr.
That is the easiest lead generation ever. Everyone's like, you need to build this epic machine. You need to offer this thing, and then it offers the thing, and then
if you want to make like $122,000 a month, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's just you,
I just personally don't want to work that hard.
Well, okay, so everyone's going to turn and say, "Well, I can't do that. I'm not Andrew. I don't work at ClickFunnels. I can't do that same thing."
Okay, it's Fiverr.
Literally, your job does not state, "This is Andrew Newman, and I work at ClickFunnels." It doesn't give any of that. No. So
I actually don't talk about that because I find that to be an unfair advantage that I don't think is a good story. Well, sure, I have a whole lot of time spending, day in and day out, just kind of immersed in the culture and what all the stuff does and how it all works. That gives me a little bit of an edge, but I don't want that to be an advantage because my name is a little bit more recognized than other people. And the funniest part is my wife actually does most of it. The work besides the initial contact. So if you take my personal time in our agency, it's laughable because we have I think 15 clients. I'd have to count them over the course of the last 13 or 14 months, however long it's been. And I've spent 15 minutes, 20 minutes on a Zoom call with each of them. The rest of it is handled by Larlin. So she does all of the planning. She uses obviously Funnelytics. We use that as a tool to map out their funnels and their email campaigns. We share that with them because we can. It makes us look all awesome, So, and it's all just the tools that are all available to every single one of us. And they make us look like rock stars because these tools are really cool. And ClickFunnels is easy, right? It's a very easy application. Once you get through your initial learning curve, learn what it does, you'll be able to figure out what you can do with it. And there's other apps out there too if you're really exploring for something to be able to build your business with. But it's a great experience, specifically as it's on the side. Like we're not even trying. You can imagine what it's like if we tried. Now the end of the year, like the last quarter of the year, things really pick up for everybody. Last year, starting in, I believe it was November, the last week of November, we hit $20,000 a month. We did $20,000 a month consistently from November, December, January, and February last year. Well, last year and this year. So from last year going into this year, which was really exciting, as you can imagine. That's on top of all the extra. Obviously, during Christmas, that makes a pretty big,
nice Christmas.
Pretty big difference. So, and I mean, that's literally with 3 gigs on Fiverr, right? 1 pond, 3 lines, and we just wait. That's all it is.
We get the Fiverr. It's a simple thing. It's literally like for an SMTP integration. Like it's the little things that nobody really wants to do in ClickFunnels, right?
No, one is we'll help troubleshoot a ClickFunnels page live, because that gets us around the terms of service with Fiverr, where our gig, we don't need to talk to the person.
Yeah.
Because they have rules. Okay? They don't like them. But there's that one, and then we will make an email template for you. Okay, it's just a template. It's not like an email like campaign. That one's actually really, really popular. And then we will migrate your sales funnel. That one doesn't really get very much traction, but the 3 that we have there, the troubleshoot anything live with you, and then we'll create an email template for you, are the ones that garner the most attention for us. So
it's simple, and it's the weirdest thing. Everyone overcomplicates. So like you're in Sam Ovens consulting. Is it consulting program?
Sam Ovens Consulting Accelerator.
Consulting Accelerator. So when you guys joined, you made all this money, and they were like, "How did you do all this?" Like, what is your biggest takeaway from like what are people who are trying to build their own agency? What are they doing wrong?
Well, I don't know what everybody's doing wrong. I think everybody's trying to focus on too many things at once. I think that's one of the things. When I talk to individuals, because there's a lot of people, because I got another podcast I was on with Nick Hauser with Consulting Accelerator, and a lot of people reach out to me because of that and ask what it was that they can do. And the problem that I think a lot of people have is the same thing that we talked about earlier, which is there's just a lot you can do, right? And if you're not focused, you can become a jack of all trades and a master of none. I heard a long time ago a gentleman say, you don't have multiple income streams, you have multiple income trickles, right? Which is kind of true if you look at all these MSI, multiple streams of income concepts and whatnot. But if you focus your energy on what it is that you're passionate about, not what can you do, because you can do just about any of this stuff. You can do affiliate marketing, you can do coaching, you can drive traffic for businesses, you can run Facebook ads, you can build funnels, you can optimize funnels on the back end, you can do copywriting, you can do graphic. There's literally a vast cornucopia of anything that you can do and literally do really well in it. But what is it that you want to do, right? What would you not dread doing, right? So not what can you do, it's what will you do? And then do that and do it very well. And if you do that very well, you can come out of it with number one, you can be the category king, I guess is what you want to call it, in your specific niche. You can stumble into an extra $122,000. Now we kept probably 80%, 70 or 80% of it. Not that that's a little bit of money to just have sitting in the bank, because that's where it is. Because it's not my money, it's the company's money, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's 2 separate bank accounts, even though I own the company, right? It's still
it's 2 separate bank accounts.
It's 2 separate bank accounts. So it just sits there and it waits till Uncle Sam gets their share, and all those wonderful little things that happen with the business and expenses that go along with that. So we don't keep it all, but it's really cool knowing that you can do it. And I think a lot of people also have fear, thinking that it might be a little oversaturated. So not knowing what to do, and then fear or doubt in themselves. If you look at any ecosystem, whether it's a economic ecosystem or a natural ecosystem, there is a lot of different specialists in that ecosystem that all specialize around one specific thing. Bees are not the only thing that pollinate, for example. There's other things that pollinate. Now, you can be the bee, you can be the category king. Other things still can survive as well off of that, and you can do the same thing economically in any one of these specific niches. And I even think these books right here, I read these before I went through Consulting Accelerator, and these right here are a lot more detailed when it comes into that. Well, of course, Consulting Accelerator, don't get me wrong, is a really good program, but you get more, I think, from .com Secrets and Expert Secrets than you do from Consulting Accelerator, even though Consulting Accelerator is a really good program for a lot of people if they're just getting started out on the agency path. I think it helps even more to know what it is that you want to do. Because if you know what it is you want to do, that overcoming that fear can go away really easily. Because the anxiety of not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's coming your way, is a pretty big deal to overcome.
You're in a position right now, you get to kind of play with what you want to play with. And if you don't want to play, other than work, like work, you got to do work.
Right.
Because, ClickFunnels, and hey, you're there, you're staying. But like, you're working on ClickFunnels, you're doing all these things, but you have this thing that's working. What's the next step for Andrew and family and Laurelyn? Like, where are you guys going? Because you have a family. This isn't something you're just doing. It's just you and your wife. You have a set of kids, and they're
a couple sets actually. We have 6 altogether. So there's a lot of little human beings. We're more interested in building up a kind of a lineage for them than it is for us. So our first goals obviously are to get debt free all the way around the board, right? And once we've done that, we're going to expand our net worth. Obviously, the knowledge that we have and what we can do to generate money, basically out of nothing, just like out of thin air, because that's what this is the skill set that everybody does here online, running agencies. You're literally making money from nothing except knowledge. Right? You're turning knowledge into cash, which is beautiful. And we don't want to necessarily do that forever because we have to be there to do that forever. So we're going to build up a nice little nest egg of assets, such as properties we want to just pay for free and clear. Buy properties like the home that we live in now, rent them out for $1,000 a month because there won't be a mortgage on them, and just give them to families like we have. We have a pretty big family, and it's not cheap. It's a very expensive little group of people when you kids are expensive. So that's kind of the idea there, is to build up a nice solid net worth in the real estate space as investors. Also, obviously, E-Trade and stock portfolios as well that we have that are generating some, like we like to call them dividends. Dividends are great, but that's the whole goal there. And then we want to ultimately just move into an estate house, basically a house for all of our family, because obviously they're growing, right? Our oldest one is 18. He just finished boot camp for the Air Force. But we want to be able to have a home that they can all come to with their families later on and all that kind of stuff. So some of the price tags on those homes are in the $2 and $3 million range, which is not necessarily out of range for anybody, because if you look at $2 or $3 million, it's really not that much. $7,500 for our services, to give you an example, just to put this into perspective, is 134 people. That's $1 million. Right now, our $7,500 package is recurring. So every 3 months it bills again, and that's a lot less than 100. So if we have 135 clients on recurring revenue, it's $4 million per year in revenue that the company would generate. Of course, we would need help, so we'd have to hire 2 or 3 people. Yeah. But that's really the goal, is to just kind of let it naturally do the thing that it does, because it's not going anywhere. The internet's not going anywhere. The demand is only going to climb. And I was reading the other day that there isn't even, we're not even looking at 40% of the planet has access to the internet yet, which is crazy. Right? So we've still got, everybody else who has to go through this curve, who's never even seen a www. I talk to people in the market, like I went on a field trip with my daughter as a chaperone, and there was something we can do that, right? So there's a lady there who's with us, and she homeschools her kids, and she just put them into school this year for the first time. She was chaperoning as well, and she was very outgoing. And she asked what it was that I do, and I said we help businesses build online systems to generate more clients and leads for their companies. And she says, I'm into network marketing, and I know I need a sales funnel. I was like, really? Now, I live in northern Minnesota here. I didn't expect that to be, the word is getting around. It's not us, because we don't really talk to anybody. But it's funny because they know they need it. They just don't really understand what it is. And the mechanics of it are actually very simple. It's the psychology of it that a lot of people need to kind of figure out the feng shui, if I guess you might want to call it, so that they can get it converting off hook, story, offer. It's one of those three things, right? Nowhere in hook, story, and offer is it your funnel. Nowhere in there does it say the technical hook, story, offer, tech. It's not right. It's not there. It's just those things. So that's kind of the rhythm behind it. But as the future goes, I plan on sticking with ClickFunnels until ClickFunnels is no longer a thing, because I love the company, I love the people, and I really like serving the audience more than anything, because the what we do is, it's powerful. It changes the dynamic of the one thing that matters most out of everything for some reason, and it really doesn't even matter that much, which is financial resources. They're literally limitless if you know how to tap into certain things. And the internet allows us an opportunity to be able to bridge a lot of those gaps. And I think a lot of the problems that people face in their personal lives would kind of melt away with giant piles of cash. At least I can't think of a whole lot of problems that, my wife and I have that just wouldn't just go poof if just like a forklift of $100 bills just dropped off in our driveway. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are in that same boat. And they say money can't buy you happiness, which is true. I agree. But it could take away a whole lot of the things that make you unhappy. So, yeah, I see a whole lot of people smiling with a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? It's not the core. It amplifies who you really are. But if you're just trying to get by, there's a lot of opportunity here for that. I mean, you can fail your way forward. We made $122,000 in sales in 15 months max, whatever it is, and that's not even trying. I mean, if you tried, you could very easily hit a six-figure income out of that. After you pay out some of the expenses you're more than likely going to acquire, you're probably make about $50,000-$60,000. That would be yours to keep. Depending on how much of the work you plan on doing yourself. Now, if you outsource that, then you can exponentially grow it. Like, there's no limit to it because you can put people to work.
Everything you're saying is true. So I agree on everything. Your back end, like, how did you guys manage it? Because when you're managing 15 clients that are on a recurring thing, it becomes a headache, especially if it's just you, or if it's just Laurel and going, okay, and just trying to make sure. And then you've got everybody that you're not freelancing, but you're hiring out for the specific job. So there's a lot of moving parts. How are you managing the back end of all that?
Okay. The most amount of clients we've had at one point was 5.
Okay.
5 on the books recurring at one time. Most of those, they fizzle out over time because they're not really ready to outsource people like us. They have a lot of ducks to put in the room before they're ready to go on that. But when it comes down to managing all of the different tasks, we're weird. Okay, so we don't do anything else. So like okay, like, I would do this for free. Like it is so fun to build these systems out, watch how people behave as they go through the system, that it's not work for us. So in our home, we have this house that is 3,096 square feet. Larlin and I, this room right here is about 120 square feet. And then our room right across the hall, which is about the same size. I think it's a little bit bigger actually than this room. But whatever. This is where we're at all the time. Okay. Got a little standy uppy downy desk. Okay. We got 61 inches of monitor space. Both of us do. We get the same desk. She's got it over there. I've got mine over here. And so when it comes to, like, we don't watch TV. Okay. We don't go to football games. We don't go to the sports bars. We don't do any of that stuff because it's boring. And this is fun. So when it comes down to it, we can actually do quite a bit. And a lot of our stuff is templates. So, I mean, if like, for example, when we write email campaigns, we use a robot to do it. We use funnel scripts for that. We don't even fill in the blanks. Okay. We just ask the client the questions. And then we move the question from the client sheet to funnel scripts, and we click a button. So this is like,
Yep.
yes, it spits out a robotic thing. We go through and we pick the right headlines. We pick the right stuff to be able to put where we want it to go. But that's what we do there as far as the back end campaigns go. And then once they start going into inboxes, it's just a matter of watching, right? And then changing how people behave. So it's not difficult to manage. When you have a high enough price tag as well, you can hire the best people. So being colorblind, when it comes to building out pages and stuff like that, we have some really good people. One of our favorite people on our Rolodex, she is not cheap, but I don't have to send work back. So because of that extra price tag saves me the one thing I can never get back, which is time. And time is the most valuable resource that I have, being that we have 6 kids. And I have a full-time job. So 45 hours a week, I'm actually in front of my computer here doing stuff that's related to ClickFunnels. And that's important to be able to have robots and automated systems in place that can do a lot of the work for you. And that's one of the beautiful things about running the digital agencies today, copywriting agencies, Facebook ad agencies. All of these systems have apps and robots that you can put and employ for making your job that much easier. And Laura and I were going through all the stuff the other day that we bought lifetime licenses for Funnelytics as well, right? $500, you never have to pay me again. Well, here's take this money and leave me alone. Right on. And keep updating, by the way, keep making it better. We have a lot, right? We have a lot of stuff that we tools and things that have just come out over the years of doing this that give us the opportunity of doing things that are simple tasks and people will pay ridiculous amounts of money for.
How do you make the shift to high ticket? I mean, so speaking from my own self, to have a little bit of clarity on what I do, like for years I was very low ticket. I remember coming to you in the Funnel Hacking Live right after I left ClickFunnels, and I'm like, this is how much I'm charging an hour. I can't remember if I told you or Laurelyn, but either one of you said, Ben, no.
You're worth more.
Yeah, you are so much more than that. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't close that. And you're like, no. There's a mentality that you need to shift to be able to sell high ticket. How do you sell high ticket, and how do you help people get over that hump? Or what would be your suggestion to get over it?
There is no difference in selling somebody a $10 a month website package versus a $7,500 a month, or not a month, but a quarter optimization package for their systems. No difference at all. The person is going to buy what they need, no matter what the price tag is. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that I need, I'm going to get it, right? That's just really important. It doesn't matter what I have to do. That's going to become something that I need. If I have a goal or something that is this thing right here is in the way of me achieving it, and all I need to do is throw some stuff at it that's imaginary. Money doesn't exist. Okay, it's just a medium of exchange. It is a illusion. Okay, the people, if you look at average individuals, they spend almost all of their time chasing money, which is really weird because as soon as they get it, they can't wait to get rid of it. Okay, so they're not really after money. All right? That's not really what they're after. So the money itself is just a number on paper. When it comes to online systems, especially in the niches that we work in, a good system can generate millions of dollars for a person. So that's not really a big deal. When I first got started online, I was at my kitchen table with a laptop I got off of Home Shopping Network. Okay. It was one of those little payment plans, 5 easy pays or whatever you call it. And I would sit at my kitchen table. I got Vonage. Okay. I got Vonage. And I got a little phone, 2 phones. Okay. One to sit on the charger, right? And one to dial on until I wore the battery out. Okay. And I had 2 different headsets, one that went into my ear, one that was a little cushion, and then they switched sides. Okay. Because my ears would get sore. Right. And I would sit at the table for hours, and I was promoting a network marketing company. It's online. It's called Global Domains International. It's GDI, website.ws. And it's a $10 a month website package. And you get 10% per month the person keeps their package. So you get $1. Okay, $1. $1 per month for every month that somebody keeps their website package. I would sit and I would buy these opportunity seeker leads. Okay. Everybody's bought those before, right? I would sit at the table, Vonage, and I would, like, every morning I'd wake up at 6 a.m. I got this neat little binder, okay, a little binder with all these little check boxes, how many dials, so I'm getting my numbers. If you don't know your numbers, and so I'm checking how many dials I need to make before somebody answers, and how many people, curse at me and cuss me out for calling. How dare you call me even though I gave you my number? I don't know how many of those people I got to go through before I get somebody who will listen to me. And we narrowed it down to where we've got this really good pitch to get a person on a business opportunity call to say, yes, I'll hear what you have to say, at least for a couple of minutes. And we got that and dialed in. Used to do that, and I'd spend hours on the phone with people who said yes to me for a $10 a month website package, helping them build a website, okay, over the phone. That was a lot of work. It was for $1 a month, and those sales were not easy sales. Those were hard sales. I was calling people who filled out information on the internet at some point. It wasn't, yesterday. It could have been last year. And I'm just buying this rehash list over and over again. What we do now, way different. We put a line in the water. We tell people these are the things that we can do for you. And they reach out and say, I want you to do that thing for me. And we just basically say, here's what we can do. Here's how it's going to turn out. This is the results that we've gotten for other people. And what do you need to know now? Most of the time, ask, how much is that going to cost? I always want them to ask me. If they ask me, it doesn't matter. I could put any price tag on that if I wanted to. They're going to want to do that. If I tell them all of this is going to cost you, right, in a one-on-one type thing, it's not a webinar, right? We're not value stacking one-on-one. We're relating to that person. We're using their pain points because they tell them as soon as you're in the conversation with them, they tell you exactly what it is that they struggle with. We just got one off of Fiverr. This gentleman reached out to us 3 weeks ago. And he told us that I know just enough to be dangerous, but I need somebody to be able to make sure that this is going properly. And didn't tell him how much it was. He actually asked me at the end before, how much is it going to cost, by the way? Now, we have two price points. One is $2,900 a month or $7,500 every 90 days. He said, I like the 90-day plan. What do we have to do next? And it was, I didn't do anything. He was already ready to go. That happens more frequently than not with individuals on Fiverr. And it actually blows my mind because it's Fiverr. Right? In the name, five, right? Like you expect $5. That's what you expect. And it's not really true. There's a lot of real business owners on there who are looking for a result that can be delivered by any one of us with the knowledge or the fortitude to be able to acquire knowledge that we don't currently have so that we can offer it. We are paid in direct proportion to the problems that we can solve.
When you get on the call, they're literally just telling you all their pain points. Yeah. Have you ever had somebody I've done a lot of work on Upwork. Mm-hmm. And so when somebody goes in there, they're like, yeah, I'm going to charge, I want to pay like $500 for this job. Would you still get on the call with that person knowing that they only wanted to spend $500 for the job and just pan out the pain points and be like, all right, and just kind of do the full thing? And then they say, well, how much is it going to cost?
I have had people tell me that the price that I just gave to them is a little bit higher than they were expecting. And I say, yeah, it usually is. But if you really, you can spend $500 15 times in a row and still not get what you want. At the end of the day, I actually do know what you need to do. Like, like I can take you from here to there in a greatly reduced period of time, which is that one resource that you have that you'll never get back. Once it's spent, it's gone. And we don't want to spend all this time trying to figure out how to do it right and try to find the cheapest one on the thing. I've always gone to a restaurant, never eat off the right side of the menu. It doesn't taste very good. So price really doesn't matter. What you want is result. And we can actually get you that result. And that's why we do have the price point that we have. Because like we said, our time's valuable too, just like yours is. Money is nothing. You can get that back again and again and again. The time that you're going to free up from, number one, having to go find somebody else. Number two, having to fix what they put into play, because for $500 there, I can tell you right now that that person's not going to put any energy into that. That's like a $10 an hour job that you don't even have to go over here and bag groceries and make $500. That's nothing, right? It doesn't require a mindset that wants to take you from A to B and eventually to the promised land. And I have the map.
The map literally is the 2 books, right?
The map is the 2 books, and I have memorized the map. I don't know exactly what page it's on. Funnel Scripts is even better, because Funnel Scripts, if you go into there, it'll tell you exactly what page you need to go on so that you can learn about what you need to know in this particular step of the funnel. You don't even, like Steve Larson says, you don't need to know what to do in every step. You just need to know what to do next. Yes. Right? And that's in the secret as well. If you're in a vehicle, they liken it to driving a vehicle across the country at night. Your headlights don't show you from Los Angeles to New York City. They show you the next 200 feet. So all you need to do is know the next step that you need to take, and you can get to where you need to go. And you have all of the resources available to you. Anybody who's watching, obviously, I'm pretty sure people reach out to you and ask you questions, and you help them. I do the same thing. There's a whole bunch of groups, Facebook communities all over the place, that if you just reach out and ask for the information that you want, people will help you. A lot of times, like my role at ClickFunnels specifically, people who are not sure what to do, they also don't know what question to ask, right? So if you ask the wrong question, you're going to get the wrong answer. You're going to go another direction, and we get shiny object syndrome happening again. Because there's a million ways to make $1 million. You just need one. You need to do it really well.
And the funny part is, everyone screams the 2 comma club award. 2 comma club, 2 comma club, 2 comma club. Really, you don't need a 2 comma club award. No. You just need to be able to have your time back.
Time, yeah.
That's really the commodity that's the most attractive. It's not this award. You see the people who are walking across the award. I've been doing a project for Stephen Larson, where I'm going through and finding all the offers that have won, and I'm looking at all the people walking on stage and everything, and I'm like, they really don't care about the award. They're like, okay, give me this so I can go back to work because it's freaking busy. I mean, right. They don't care about the award. That's nice, but they don't care anymore.
I find the ones that care most about the award are the people who don't have it. And they're curious not because of anything other than the fact that they don't have it. They want to be able to achieve it. Now, the award is revenue. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It matters how much money you keep. And we can make it like a lot of funnels that make $1 million.
Oh yeah, just get a $20,000 line of credit. And
well, that would be terrible. I mean,
as long as it's breaking, you're good,
right? You're coming up into the Christmas shopping season. Have a really good e-com funnel put together. You can do $1 million in sales very easily in a 12-week period of time. It doesn't mean you get to keep it all. And then you have the logistics of delivering all of that product to the end users. You return. There's just a lot of stuff that you have to deal with at those levels. I personally like selling knowledge because there is no. First of all, there's no set price. I like that. And there's nothing to follow up on, right? Person's not happy with their services within 30 days, we just give them their money back. Had 0 refunds.
Where should people go if they want to not just learn from you? What if someone's in pain right now? Where do they go to talk to you?
Well, I mean, you can get to our calendar by just going to QWERTYfacemedia.com. It's just the top of your keyboard, QWERTY, facemedia.com. That'll get you right onto, well, you have to opt in first, but get you onto a calendar, and then we can get on a Zoom. We can chat about that. And just as fair warning, you probably will end up giving me money. Just kidding. I actually have no expectations when I get on calls with people. I'm very generous with that one thing that you never get back, which is time. That's where you can go. QWERTYfacemedia.com.
Dang, was that cool or was that cool, guys? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, but I actually do something very, very special. After the interview is done, I actually record 2 more questions. Those 2 questions spark a whole new conversation, and I record those, and I'm happy to give you access to that. All you have to do is go to hackthatfunnelradio.com. When you enter your email address there, I will automatically give you access to every single interview's 2 extra questions and the conversation that sparks off of that. Go to hackthatfunnelradio.com to get your access now.